Good day, ladies and gentlemen. There's some echo. Hello. Nice to see you, folks. My name is Dustin Cormier, and welcome to another episode of How to Rock Astrology. It's a pleasure to have you here today. Today we're going to talk about what it's like when you have the Sun in Aries and Mars in Virgo. If you want to know a little bit more about me, you can visit me on dustincormier.net. Check out my book there, and here's a little glimpse of my chart just so you can see the basic building blocks of the personality that's giving you the data. Thanks for coming. So we're talking about Sun in Aries, Mars in Virgo. If you watched the little bit of our first Mars in Virgo video at the start of this little series, you'll hear about the funky, quirky, sometimes kinky, and yet sometimes vanilla and like asexual sexuality of Mars and Virgo. Don't let that paint you. Don't ever let astrology paint you a color that you're not. But it's interesting to see how these symbols play out. The Sun in Aries here probably will save this person from having too much asexuality. It's not even the right way to say it, because you can never have too much asexuality if that's what you are. What I'm trying to say is that, if you'll note from our first video, Mars in Virgo has a funny way of being like unawakened and virginal to visceral Mars energy. It's kind of two reasons for this. Number one is that Mars is pretty still in the close proximity here to its debilitation point in Cancer. Any planet that is debilitated is going to not express the best of its potentials. The reason Mars is debilitated in Cancer is because it becomes emotional when it's close to Cancer. Cancer is like the summer solstice vibe. It's very hot. It's a heat that doesn't allow Mars to do the strategizing, the planning, the general that Mars wants to be. Mars in Virgo actually overplans in an ironic way, but you got to digest the layers, what I'm getting at here. Mars is a strategizer. Mars likes to have enough of a sense of the playing field to say, well, we should hit our big guns at this point, and then take our infantrymen and put them over here, save some infantrymen, then don't put them all there for some people to evade in and go and get that other task. You know, like Mars likes to plan things out per se. And when it's close to Cancer, there's a heated energy that kind of reacts, especially in Virgo. There's a nervous energy that just kind of snaps very easily. It can be very snappy. When Mars is close to Cancer, it likes to have a planned, in Virgo's case, it's a planned, discerned way of using its energy that doesn't, the plan is trying to think of what's going to come. And it's not cultivating on its capacity to actually be a warrior and to be ready for whatever comes. It's only ready for when its perfectly planned thing comes. And it's for this reason that things don't always, hardly ever go the way they want, because life is not perfectly planned. And when things don't go the way they planned, this person gets erratic. It's like erratic, and it's an erratic nervous energy. And it's hard for this person, this is exhausting, and it's hard for this person to cultivate a constant ability to be ready, to diligently, constantly express what the Sun is trying to do. So now we've got the Sun in Aries here. When the Sun is in Aries, the Sun is actually exalted here. The Sun is the king, and Mars is the general that generally likes to strategize or to have some kind of skill, some kind of capable ability through which it can penetrate reality and bring the objectives of the king, the Sun, the spirit of the self, to fruition. Here, the Mars in Virgo kind of has a hard time doing what the sun wants. This is annoying because the sun, since it's in Aries, it's exalted. It's always going to be a good place for the sun. The sun, the king in Aries, when the sun is in Aries, since it's exalted, the person is going to have a vocation. They're going to consider it important to have a vocation that comes from what inspires them, what challenges them to constantly cultivate a better personality, a better self, and to keep hacking at their reality. They are energized and inspired to hack at reality and obstructions to their will, obstructions to their life and their purpose and their spiritedness. Here, the sun leans on Aries for its expression, and Aries has Mars for a ruler. So wherever your sun is, it's going to do what it does through the planet that rules the sign. Aries rules Mars, which means that the sun in Aries, the sun here is a part of this big vocation that the sun wants to do is going to involve Mars in Virgo. So that's frustrating in a way. We know that the sun it's quite far from Mars here, so they're not like great friends. The sun is friends with Mars, but in the Vedic sense, the two planets have to be in close proximity to be great friends. So the sun is in a neutral sign here because it's in Aries and Mars is far away. The vocation that the sun in Aries is going to call itself to is going to involve Mars in Virgo. And that's going to revolve around reliability, being a manager at a shop, let's say. And they are going to be probably very concerned with keeping a stable job, some kind of stable economical thing that they do. And they will be inspired to find ways to make that job better, to hold their financial resources, manage them properly, and they probably spend a lot of time on this sort of managing thing in even brave ways, because the sun in Aries is quite brave. So Mars being in Virgo here still gets erratic and static and gets frustrated when things don't go their way. Even the sun gets frustrated because they're going to try to plan a perfect life, and life is not going to unfold as perfectly as they would prefer. But the sun is good at not being beaten down by this on the long sphere, but they will have little depressive splurts. Let's check out what's going on in my room over here. Mars will not always have the mental stability and inspiration in the moment to continually renew and cultivate and inspire new ways of looking at their job or their relationships or their sex drive. They might sometimes. This could be a person who's inspired and engaged to talk about sexuality kind of in an armchair distance because of the Mars and Virgo here. But I digress. This is the type of personality that this person is. They won't be... Mars is a constant, consistent sense of gripping reality, getting into reality, fixing reality, fixing the problems that come at it. And Mars in Virgo is going to have a plan for what it would be best at in this regard. And it's a good or bad thing. They'll put a lot of energy into being reliable. Almost like if they're a mechanic or something like that, they will spend a lot of time and a lot of energy getting more and more capable of being reliable, of taking on bigger jobs, getting into bigger industries, even being an entrepreneur who gets themselves into various financial, fiscal things. And that's how the sun wants to continue its expression, through Virgo things. Because the Mars, being the ruler of the sun sign, Aries, is in Virgo, managerial Virgo. In terms of partnerships, in terms of bedmates, in terms of being a lover, this is a person who's got a sexy, determined energy. Overall, they've got a faithfulness in life that everybody can fall in love with Aries sun. The Mars energy here will be there's an irritability here. You can really bug this person by mixing your words, not being clear with them. You should clearly communicate with this person. When you have a plan, an appointment, tell them exactly what's going to go down, and they will deeply appreciate you for it. And if you have like Mercury and Pisces or something like that, and you're talking, you don't walk what you talk, this person will be like, you said that you were going to do this and you didn't. What happened there? And they'll be noble about it and upfront about it and very upfront about these little things. There's a self-control here. There's a lack of fearlessness because of the Mars in Virgo. But everything can be looked at positively. And this is probably the best placement of the sun. It really saves erotically, libidinally. There's a vitality that wants to express itself sensually, and it saves what is usually Mars and Virgo's often lack of libido. Even this person might even wax and wane between being libidinal, or they might have a constant engagement of libidinal sexual energy, but they might not be as that into sex as their appearance might imply. Again, don't let me pigeonhole you. Just take these things into consideration, take them into yourself, and think of how you can transmute that Mars energy into clever, satisfying ways. But also always consider that Mars at its best, like you probably like chess and games and things like this that are competitive, but also at a mental level, You can enjoy these things, and you can enjoy them with your lovers as well. So that was my personal rendition. Let's read a little bit of Erotic Astrology by Phyllis Vega to see what this author thinks about the bedroom tendencies of Sun in Aries, Mars in Virgo. Considerably more self-controlled than other Rams, other Arians, you prefer not to rush into romantic entanglements. Even so, you do possess a robust libido. Look at that. So that is something definitely to be said about Aries sun. There will always be a lustiness and a passion. And your passionate nature runs deep and true. As a result, your strongest impulse is to live and love by the demands of your heart. This is all coming from Aries sun. But sooner or later, you must come to terms with the conflict caused by your yearning for both independence and a committed relationship. It's the Mars and Virgo here that's trying to plan the perfect channel for the Aries Ram energy. And a committed relationship would do that, although the Aries also seeks independence. A practical romantic. You need to know your partner well before feeling comfortable. But once you develop a sense of trust, you let go and become the amorous lover you were meant to be. Kind and generous in the bedroom, you enjoy exploring your bedmate's preferences along with your own. Lovely. You can see that there's the adventurousness of Aries that loves to explore, to venture chest first into the unknown. And the Virgo here has this there's an intention to use Mars to deeply read and bring out and draw out what turns on the lover and what really enriches the partner's imagination and these sorts of things. And the Aries loves, by just doing what it does naturally, being itself, laughing naturally, and saying things that are just like lightning thoughts to try and see what makes the lover laugh. And the Virgo is always calculating. Oh, that made them laugh, but that didn't. That turned them on, but that didn't. and they love to explore this. It's the Aries explorer. It's always sexy. So I hope that makes sense, folks. I hope that you can read this sort of funny duality of Aries' libidinal, lusty robustness and Virgo's calm, patient desire to paint the perfect picture. The Aries sun, in my opinion, will always appreciate and understand when the picture isn't as perfect as they would like to be, which is a beautiful sort of thing that really saves the Mars and Virgo's erratic perfectionism. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. I'm Dustin Cormier for How to Rock Astrology. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this video.